June 16th, 1971. You know the rest of that song, don't you, my friend? I've been sitting there today thinking about something intensely private that I've been unsure if I should share with the world. Partly because of what it reveals, but also what it means. But the main thing is a question of respect. You see, when a client walks through my doors, I always guarantee results. 10 out of 10, they leave perfect, the actualized version of themselves. And one of the greatest tools that I possess is that of Vedic astrology. Now, it's way different from what they've sold and told you in the West, but anyone who knows Pac well knows how he often said that he was a Gemini, and it explained so much about him, from how he could go from Brenda's got a baby to hit him up. These weren't falsehoods or contradictions, it was just him being real, in an extremely polarized state. Now, as a Gemini as well, I know how that felt, and it truly is a living hell to be able to see both sides of the fence. But one of the things I clicked when I died and came back again is our physical eyes have blind spots. These blind spots contain the optic nerves, and the optic nerves relay to your brain what this game is saying. Now, the interesting thing about it is they can't see. Think about that paradox. The area that allows vision is itself unable to comprehend what is passing through it. Go and listen to the lyrics from his freestyle for Ron G, and you'll see how he predicted, bar for bar, exactly what would happen when he went to Quad Studio. That's the spirit speaking. But he was so high and twisted and needing to get a check and get ahead with all the stress because the game was against him. You see, 81% of this world are slaves, from life to death and back again. They genuinely believe they are the voice in their head, and they don't know they are that which listens. They believe the scripts, they believe the news, what the external world says. Now, 11%, they are akin to agents of the Matrix. They know we're within a simulation, and they have all the tricks because they're plugged in. Now that leaves 8%. They are warriors, through and through. They're born to go against the grain, rebels of the underground. They naturally do what they do. People are drawn to them like magnets because they do not conform. They break the norms. They are who they are, and you either like it or you hate it. Tupac exemplified this archetype, and this is what I believe made his legend what it is. First and foremost, let me lay something out to you. The reason why astrology works the way that it is because it's the programming language of this matrix. We are inside a simulation. This is a false creation that I call the game of souls. Now, getting in is simple. Getting out is something else. I should know. I've spent 5 lifetimes trying to crack this game, so I'll play it a bit different. And in this life, in this spin, Tupac was a massive inspiration because of the way he lived and died and what he encoded in his presence. Let me give you a hint. Imagine that you were a fish that swam in an ocean that was filled with a glass maze. Those that never went against the grain wouldn't feel it bumping across their face because they'd zip this and that way and things would be perfect for them. Everything works out. Now let's pretend for us humans, these glass walls are called laws. Take wall and law, spin them around and you'll see what I mean. You can feel their presence all around you in this reality. On top of this, like invisible stilts, they take these humans, these stars are rats backwards. You'll see what I mean by this when we progress. And they elevate them. And the reason why they do that is to stop you looking to the heavens and decoding your own script. You would not believe the amount of times I've heard people turn around and say, no, what you said is incorrect, the chart's wrong, and then they go away and they think about it, or they talk to their parents or somebody else, and they fill them in. Something they didn't even know at all was written there. I mean, let me give you a simple example. The guy often referred to himself as an outlaw immortal. You think about that. That means somebody that is playing the game on another octave, somebody that is staring through his rear view of what is presented to generate a different perspective. He took these esoteric truths and wisdom and broke them down into a language that every man could comprehend, and then laid into fat beats. This is why he told you again and again and again, don't just bob your head to the beat. Listen to the lyrics. See if it's really real. There are people these days who are decoding his interviews, and personally to me, I feel his interviews were equal, if not better, than his songs, because he was true and real and unfiltered and just put it out there. Here we see a spiritually tortured man that was seeking liberation, but also wanted riches. It's the Gemini effect, my friend. The best of this realm with an eye on the next. You listen to the words what he said in the Illuminati prophecy, written by the lost, for the lost, those who live with the third eye live. You see, these are high vibes in times of false light. And when a shining serpent steps in, things are never, ever the same again. That's why they had to kill him. And he was sacrificed. It was a ritual from end to end. Let me give you an example. He died in Vegas. It rained that day, which is a statistical improbability. But what many people do not comprehend is, on the opposite of the West, his old friend turned nemesis almost had a fatal car accident, so both of them were almost taken out of the game on the same day. It was after this event that Big started penning his disses towards him, because before, he'd been quiet as kept. Now all of this is written in his astrology. Everything from how Stretch died, the reasoning behind it, how his mother's spiritual influence and the effect it had on him, the reason why he spent the first 8 months of his life in jail, and how this fractally echoed to when he was on trial and he looked at the judge and says, during all of this you never once looked me in my eyes. My fate is in God's hands. Consider the symbology like I told you. People said he went crazy after juice, but how many people comprehend that Bishop went to the knight? These are chess moves. Checkmate. The symbolism of going from jail to death row. It was all there, just like I told you about the Representin lyrics. How I Ain't Mad At You predicted his death. Picture perfect. See, if he'd known that he was a psychic sponge and he soaked up the environment that he was from, I mean, consider, go and listen to the lyrics of My Definition of a Thug Zigger and then look up Warren G's interview, and you'll see that 30% of those lyrics were actually about what Warren G was living, and he just pushed the pen and made it his. And then, tell me this, how many of you people out there comprehended he actually wrote Gangsta's Paradise? Go back and listen to it. I'm 23 now, but would I live to see 24? Look at the cadence, look at the structure, compare it to the lyrics of Pain that were written the year before, and you'll see how they hide things in this game. Consider the inversion with Will Smith and how all that went, and how Jada is the common link. Consider how this man was a hit with the ladies, never once had a wife. Well, no, actually, he did have a wife. Things would have been very different had he stuck with her. Just like things would have been very different if Fatal hadn't been sent back to Jersey. Tupac has Jupiter in the 4th house. The 4th house represents your family and home. So that means he will have a big family and a big home, which he did. Look at all the properties in Atlanta, etc. The most esoteric aspect of this, however, is if you move 12 places away from Jupiter, it brings us to the 3rd house. Now the 3rd house has many facets and representations. One of them is a near-death experience. And this he did. This is why he was protected from so many scrapes and japes. This is why he lived his life full belt, because he knew he was immortal. Have you ever considered what he truly was saying with Outlaw, immortal? Have you ever considered how the shining serpent links to Kundalini energy? What all of this truly means, how nothing is an accident. From his friend turned nemesis, whose name encodes Christ bearer, to Black Jesus himself. Look at all of this, take it into context, look at it from a bigger picture. Why is it that he wanted to let go of this world completely, but this reality can't release him, won't release him, does not want to let him go? Look at all the mythos that surrounded his death. Look at how he spoke it into existence. These are the things. You see, if you, like me, are an 80s jet, you may be familiar with the concept of a choose your own adventure book. You see, back in the days, we had these texts and you'd flip through them and you could alter where things went depending upon your options. That is exactly what astrology proves. Like I showed you, with his moon being in the 8th house, it showed you that his mother was an occult powerhouse, something from beyond this realm, and only a panther can give birth to a panther cub. But when you look at his sun in the 11th, it showed you that his father is the one that made him a legend, even though he was from a distance. And this, combined it with what I told you about his sun being in Gemini and how Pac was a double Gemini, and how for the most of his life he believed that his father was Legs, and then only when he got shot did he meet Garland. Now, the reason why I use that name will come up later on as well, because even that detail is in his astrological script. And I know I'm rambling here and there, but mainly I'm just getting my thoughts in line to see how it feels to actually speak on this, because thinking is one thing, talking is another, doing is what makes it happen. Now, if you look at his life, you'll see that he knew he had no time to waste. It was action, action, action all the way. But had he just took time to think and chill, relax for a moment, things would have been very, very different. And this is one of the lessons I took from him. And this is something that many people overlook. You see, when you're running on E, all you can think about is pushing the accelerator to the limit. But sometimes it's better to get out and walk for a minute. See that red is red and blue is blue, but it's the purple in the mid, that's the hue, the one that combines everything, the secret that's hidden. And this, my friend, is what we are going to be revealing in these sessions. So I thank you for listening. I truly do appreciate it. I got my mind made up. Let's unlock the vault till we meet again.